Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a Prey Gel-X set, and I have briefly talked about it in my favorites video, and I'll link that video down below. But I'm going to be doing the Opre Gel-X extension, and I have the Sculpted Coffin long. My mom doesn't really care for the long length, so we will be cutting it down, but this video is just going to be more of an application video, not a design video, but I will show you the finished look as far as the photo at the end of the video. And as you can see, I've already sized out her tips, so we're good to go. Now, just like with putting full tips or tips on just half weld tips, you want to make sure that you meet the side walls edged side to side and make sure that it's covered perfectly and it's not too big. You just want to make sure it's the perfect size. Now with the Gel-X, you gotta be you have to be precise with this so it doesn't cause any lifting or anything like that, because this is a soft gel extension, and that's what's going to be keeping your nails together, is a soft gel. So we're going to start with the prep. We're going to be doing our number one, which is our pH bonder, and this all comes in the set, and I will put a link down below where you can purchase the set. You can either just buy the tips or the kit, however you want. They do sell it separately. Okay. And the next thing we're going to do is the number two, and they are labeled, and it is our acid-free gel primer. And we're just going to put that all on her nail. Not too heavy, just like you would prime your nails for acrylic. The same thing, same prep. All right. And then the third thing we're going to do is the Extend Gel that comes in the gold bottle. Excuse me, on each of the nails we're going to be doing a thin layer of the Extend Gel, and then it's going to go into the UV lamp for about 60 seconds. So as you can see, I'm going to do regular speed here on her pinky nail, and we just soaked off her last set that lasted about 3 weeks. So if you see like the dry skin, it's just because we just did the soak off. So as you can see, we're doing a nice thin layer, getting right to the cuticle but not touching the skin or anything like that. Very thin, because we're going to be putting more at the end, and you'll see why you do the thin layer. Okay. And I just sped up this portion for the rest of the 4 fingers, just showing you I'm putting a thin layer of the Extend Gel on her natural nail after we prepped it with the bonder and primer. All right. And then next I have my Sun UV LED UV lamp here, and I'm just going to be putting her hand in for 60 seconds just to kind of cure that Extend Gel to her natural nail. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is taking my football bit. It kind of looks like a football, kind of tapered at the tip, and we're going to be etching the underside of the tip, and that's just to help with the adhesion of the Extend Gel to the gel that's already on her fingers. Now people do it different ways as far as like etching. I just find this bit works best for me. People use the sanding bands, but this is just the bit that I have, and it works perfectly fine to get the etching that you need for application. And I just sped up the rest of this because I'm just going to be etching the rest of them. And you just want to etch it up to like where her natural nail will end. If you get a little bit further, it won't mess up anything. That's just how I prep the Gel-X. And I think this is about my 4th or 5th set that I've done, so it's still a learning process, but I absolutely love this system, and I think it's a great investment and something nail techs should try out. It's really cool. And then I have my Opre little LED light that it comes with, and I believe the light is like 10 or 30 seconds. I'm not 100% sure, but I will link it down below or insert it in the video to tell you how long the lamp lasts, or how long it cures to get that first cure on the nails. So I'm a little bit out of frame, but what I'm doing is taking my Extend Gel and putting a very little bit at the base, because what you're going to do is you're going to put that to the cuticle and kind of push it down, and that gel is just going to push over the entire nail, and that's how you cure it. So I'm going to zoom in now so you'll see. You kind of tuck that tip right under the cuticle, kind of like push it in there, and then you let the gel flow to cover her entire natural nail. All right. And then I'm just going to get my Prey little LED light, and you really can't see it what I'm doing, but I'm kind of like, I have my thumb halfway on top of her finger, and I kind of slowly move it to the side, but I'm also rotating the little light to kind of follow my thumb as I'm lifting it off of the tip, so the light cures everything. Now it's not a full cure. We're gonna have to put this her hand back into the lamp, but this is just to get the bonding done right here, not right now. And as you can see, I got a little bubble. You just want to make sure you don't get any bubbles, but it happens. But yeah, so we're just going to go to the next one, and I sped it up a little bit. I just want to kind of go a little bit slow-mo so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to tuck that in the cuticle, and then do the same thing. And I'm just kind of like wiggling my thumb around the edge of her nail. All right, and as you can see, no bubbles, perfect application to the edge of her nail, of her natural nail. All right, and then the middle finger. All right, and you just want to let that gel flow all the way to the tip of her natural nail. If you get a little bit past it, you just put like a little flathead gel brush at the end of it and kind of like swipe it down. But for me, it was getting right to the edge of her nail, so it was perfectly fine. I didn't have to do that. All right, looking good. And now the next one is her pointer finger. I kind of left this one regular speed so you guys can get a more close-up shot of the tip. So I just put a little bit at the base, very little. Wipe off anything that might have come over the edge of the tip, and you're just going to tuck that into her cuticle, kind of push it in there, or tuck it into their cuticle, and then hold it down till that gel flows to the edge of her nail. And I'm just going to get my little après lamp. This is the cutest little thing. I think like their first set came with a bigger one. I could be wrong, but this one worked perfectly fine. I have my own little handheld LED as well. It's not an après one, but it works just the same. So even if you just want to get the kit with the extend gel and the primer and bonder, you can do it that way. You don't have to get the entire kit, because you know, we have files, we have little lamps on hand, so you can kind of customize your own kind of thing. You don't have to get a kit, but it's pretty awesome. All right, you can see I have a little bit of bubbles, but looking good. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do her nail. Same thing to all 5 fingers. A little gel at the end. Push it, let it come through, let it flow. Alright, and then we're almost done. And then after this, her hand is going to go into the UV LED lamp. What I have, it's going to go in there for 60 seconds. And you'll see the C-curve on there, the sculpted, the way they really, it's so amazing how they created these full tips and still gave it that C-curve on it. It looks like, you know, a regular extension. It looks amazing. It's so cool how they did it. And they have several shapes and sizes, so you can definitely check them out and see what they have available. So the next, I'm going to be taking my Medicool medium grit sanding band. I'm just going to be going over the extension just to kind of buff it up. And you would do this just like if you were doing an acrylic extension. Before you do art or polish or anything like that, you buff the nail to get any bumps and lumps. There isn't any bumps and lumps, but if you put gel directly on that shiny smooth surface, it's not gonna stay. So when you buff it up, you create that, like you're etching it, so that polish has something to grab onto, or design, whatever you use has something to grab onto, and it doesn't go sliding off, you know, the extension. And in this video, I'm not really showing the art. I will be posting a video at the end showing what she chose for her design. This is just more of a application video. And then what I do is kind of just get the edges of the nail, just for like any like glue or extend gel that might have come off, and to also get the shine off of the rest of the nail very lightly. And then I went ahead and straightened out the top because it has that little piece of plastic, and you just want to remove that. So that is the finished set. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I'll see you